Welcome, welcome. Tonight we've got a quick lesson on armholes and how to narrow the shoulders. It's really more about narrowing the shoulders. So this was requested by one of you, and we really appreciate that and want to make sure that we answer your questions so you can get your sewing the best possible way. So we're going to look at this first picture. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we understand what shoulder width we like. I see so many women in workshops measuring literally between the base of the neck and the shoulder seam. And that, as the neckline varies, that measurement will change. But this picture that we're going to look at, it's going to give you a fixed constant of how wide you like your shoulders, things to consider, and how to make it repeatedly where you like it and where you want it to be. So this picture, again, notice there's a t-shirt, a blouse, and a jacket. And each of those garments, I'm going to wear the shoulders a little bit differently for myself. So I'm going to use myself as an example. My t-shirts, I like about 14. My blouses, I like about 14 and a half, and my jackets, I like at 15. Now that's just me. Don't take anything from that. That's just how I like them. The point being is there's a little bit of difference between the t-shirt, the blouse, and the jacket. If you notice the blue line on this picture, notice in each case, the blue line is going perpendicular, sort of, kind of, but basically you want your shoulders to be at the width of your hips. That will give you the best look, and that will help you look taller as opposed to wider. Keep in mind that on these garments, there is no anatomical part of the body that the shoulder width aligns to. So I can't tell you what you're going to like, but it's easy enough for you to go try on some things in your closet and measure. And if you notice you're measuring from seam to seam, it goes right through the hole in your neck. That hole in your neck is the center front on a pattern. So this is so easy to do. It'll take you a little bit of time. We have on our site, our website, silhouettepatterns.com, a chart. We've always referred to it as the Brett chart because he put it up and I told him not to, but I'm glad he did. It's up there and it's measurements, garment measurements that you should know about yourself. But one of them is exactly this. How wide are your jackets? How wide are your blouses? And how wide are your t-shirts, and what do you like? And once you have a measurement from seam to seam, then you know it goes right through center front, and on your pattern you can measure from center front out and you'll know exactly if it's good the way it is, if you need to widen it, if you need to narrow it. Okay, so step one is getting a set of numbers that you can trust, that you like, that are important. Step two, how do we narrow the shoulder? There's two ways to do it. One is if there's a princess seam, and one is a non-princess seam. So let's take the first example. It's a princess seam. And because many times when you design a princess seam, when I design a princess seam, I split the difference between them. I don't split the difference between them. I give a smaller amount to the side piece, and there's reasons for that. That's not important. What is important is that if you take it and narrow the shoulder at the seam line, your pieces will be out of sync. They'll just be the side panel becomes too small. So that's why I drew a red line, and you'll notice that you're going to take it out of the center piece, out of the middle piece, not the side piece, the center piece, and you'll take it however much you want to narrow it by in the front and in the back, and then it'll taper to nothing down to the bust. Very easy to, you don't even touch the armhole at all, yet it narrows the shoulder. Okay, again, you have that number, you know what you like, you know exactly how much to take away because you know exactly what your pattern measures. On the next one is the non-princess seam. We use a template. And you can see what I did there is I drew the red line as my template. A template is just a copy of the armhole. We have them, you can buy them, you can make your own. They just need to be rigid. We've made them out of plastic. Don't make them out of cloth. They've got to be cardboard. They've got to be something rigid. When I take and move in the shoulder point, it's going to bring up the side seam point. It's automatic. shortest distance between 2 points, straight line, curved line. Anyway, okay, so when I move in the shoulder to make it narrower, I have to recognize that the part of the armhole that goes to the side seam will be raised up, and you can see what I've done there is I've extended the side seam up. So there's our new armhole. It's the same armhole. We haven't changed it at all. We're just taking it and pivoting it to where we're moving it closer to the center front of the body because you want your shoulders to be narrower. No other reason. The sleeve is not going to be changed. Nothing like that's going to be changed. Just the armhole is going to be moved in, and this is how you do it. So when you go to narrow your shoulders, number one, find out what you like. Find out what shoulder width you like and go through that process. And then number two, do it by either using the seam of a princess seam or a template of the armhole template. It's that easy. And the goal, you know it. Happy sewing from Silhouette Patterns.